Well, let me throw this at you because I actually I had this conversation a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was in mixed company, meaning men and women. Um,
Ed collab.
doesn't matter. I don't know necessarily their religious leanings. I don't think it didn't matter when I made the statement, and we had a conversation about it. But I was like, men are the spiritual heads of the household, and immediately all the women are like, "Mm." And I said,
Okay.
"Hold on. That I'm not saying they're above you or control you or you should be barefooting in the kitchen or you don't have value. None of that." I said, "But let me ask you this." I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. See, I wasn't prepared for this, but you triggered the memory in my head. All the men that you were with before, whoever you're with now, who you are comfortable with, whether you're married or living together, did you feel one, safe and secure when they're around? Two, did they bring peace into your home? And hands down, the prior relationships, every woman that was there said no. I said, okay, what about the men you're with now? They're like, well, yeah. I said, so you feel safe and secure when he's home, right? Even the animals will act different, meaning dogs, cats, whatever, when their man is home. Yes. I said, okay. Does he also bring peace and like calm and like, ah, I'm glad he's home. Like everything, it's like everything's going to be okay. I said, so even if you don't go to church or believe in the Bible or whatever, I was like, it's one of those things where God doesn't, you might
Yeah,
not
I
believe
don't.
in God, but he believes in you. Or if you want to go that way, that you don't have to believe in the devil, but he believes in you. I said, so, and again, there's all this other stuff. Like as a man, you shouldn't cause chaos in your home. You shouldn't make your partner feel unsafe. All these things, all
Mhm.
these things. But when they're aligned, right? When a man's doing what he's supposed to do, I said, that's the basis of what he's talking about. Now, there's much more. There's
Wants
getting
to
into
it.
the
Yeah,
word script. There's nuance, but
yeah.
I was just trying to get down to the primordial soup of the point
Mhm.
that I was making. It fits, bro.
Yeah, 100%, 1,000%. It. I know we won't get upset about this. It's like, but women are emotional beings, and very, very broad stroke of the brush here. I was like, but I think it's safe to say that the majority of women act off emotion, and emotions kind of rule. Sometimes it's emotion dictates their action sometimes, whereas men don't necessarily have that luxury. And I actually find it to be a little bit of a sign of weakness if men are driven by their emotions in everything that they do. It's like, mm,
Nobody wants to see a man get emotional, bro.
no, no. It's
It's
not to say that
uncomfortable.
it's not to say that you can't have emotions, because I'm
No,
very, very, very in touch with my emotions. I know how I feel
listen,
about
you and I, you've
everything.
seen me, you and I
Yeah.
have seen each other emotional in times of great anger, sadness, or
Mhm.
frustration. It happens, but it's not. It is a rare fucking occurrence. My kids were actually trying to count the other day. They're like, I think I've seen you cry 2 or 3 times. I was like, yeah. Why?
Happens.
What am I going to cry about? And the only reason, and I said, I'm embarrassed that you even saw that many times.
Exactly. I'm not thrilled about that.
I'm not happy that you could even count,
Yeah.
even though it's on one hand. But that's what I think it was a comedian. Just to your point that men and women are different, testosterone and estrogen. It was a comedian. And I this is what happens when you just start going off the cuff. I want to give credit to where it's due, but I can't
Yeah.
remember who it was. I know it was a female. I just can't remember. She was talking about estrogen and men wanting to inject estrogen in their bodies and all this stuff. She was like, listen, you want to ride the dragon? Let me tell you what to expect. And she goes off of this tangent. I was like, she's not wrong though. She's like, you want to ride the dragon, bro? She goes, because
Yeah. You
this
don't want
shit
that.
is nuts. She goes, and it's even worse when like women, they know what's happening and they're like, I can't
They
help it. I'm
can't
just
help
gonna
it.
cry. I'm gonna
Can't help it.
yell. I'm gonna sweat. I'm gonna get that sweat on my upper lip. I'm gonna
Can't
all
help it.
these things are gonna happen all the time.
Can't help it. Come back a couple days later and be like, listen, I just want to apologize for the other day.
I was
I
going
don't
through
know.
some stuff.
I don't know what was going on. I just couldn't help it. You're like, it's okay.
Hey,
I get it. I get it. It's like you would tell times like, listen, once you understand that you don't understand women, you have a very, very different viewpoint
it'll be good, bro.
of what's happening.